attention, please, or a second you can spare? Does anyone see that the world has changed, or does anybody really care? What happened to the world we know when we love the neighbor as ourselves? It seems we left that time behind. Looks like we need some help. Wait a minute now.
Well, hello, everyone. It's Melanie Denise Cunningham, your Peace Queen here. And I'm coming to you to talk about one single subject, and that is the People's Gathering. The People's Gathering, a Revolution of Consciousness conference, is having an emergency convening. Emergency. And the theme is a call to unity. And you all know why. The rhetoric at the national level is too much. I mean, it is traumatic speak at this point. And we need to just bring it on in, and really get ourselves together and prepare for no matter what the outcome of our national elections and that political scene becomes, no matter what, we're going to get our act together on a radical path of love. I'm just saying it right now. And today I'm so excited to welcome our keynote speaker for the People's Gathering. Dr. Shakti Butler is in the house. Shakti, hello.
Hello, my queen. How are you?
Oh, sister, every time I see you, I just smile from ear to ear. Your joy just radiates everywhere. So good to see you. And thank you for saying yes to keynoting the People's Gathering. Thank you, sis, so much.
You know, it's my pleasure. I would do anything for you.
And you were our first. Well, no, you were second. Dr. Randall Pinkett was first, and then you came and rocked the stage not too long ago. And so people know you, they loved you. I mean, you dropped the mic last time. So can you at least start off by the folks that have not been introduced to the fabulous Dr. Shakti Butler? Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing out there in the world.
Oh, what I'm doing out here in the world. Well, who am I? I am a product of a Caribbean father and a Russian mother. I grew up in Harlem because the Russian side of my family didn't want nothing to do with me, so that's okay. And I came to California and have been working here, making films and doing social justice work for the last 30 some odd years.
Okay.
And the films are part of the nonprofit organization called World Trust.
Mm-hmm.
And those films have been seen by millions, literally millions of people.
Yep.
And I don't think I'm going to be making any more films, whole films like that, because each one takes me about 4 years. But the social justice work it's had its impact, and I've had the good fortune of meeting wonderful people all over the world, such as yourself, and being able to invite people to stand in the place of curiosity about who they are and how they show up in the world, and what kind of social justice work are they doing, why are they doing it, and what do they need in order to do even more. And what does it mean for us to understand the relationship between the internal aspects of who we are and the external world that we walk in?
Mm-hmm.
When we don't see that connection and we see ourselves as separate individuals doing something that where we're longing to reach that place of what I would call freedom, and seeing how difficult that is.
Yeah.
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 So
Now,
that's my work.
do you think we've gone backwards? I mean, like in coming up in the era that we came up, where the struggle was really, 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 really real, and we were in the trenches. Do you feel like we're back at that place now, or do you feel like this is a 2.0, 4.0 situation?
I feel like the powers that be want to turn everything back.
Mm-hmm.
And where we are is that, you can't, once that curtain has been pulled, you can't really turn back, because people have experiences of something that's different. For example, right now we have to struggle to have the vote be recorded the way it needs to be recorded in order to elect our next president.
Mm-hmm.
And so our fight is and that's a word that is an interesting one to me, but the work is to be able to retain what we have gained, if you want to call it that, and make the changes, the systemic and structural changes that need to be made for us to really have freedom be something that is a result of the unity that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do we talk to people that we don't see eye to eye with? How do we talk to ourselves when we have discord on the inside? How do we create peace out in the world when we don't feel peace inside of ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of work to be done. And as my daddy used to say, there's nothing new under the sun. This struggle has been happening for thousands of years all over the world, where there are dominant folks and dominant cultures that want to take and reign over everybody else. And so we're still fighting the same fight as far as I'm concerned. It just has different dimensions.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's a boom, drop the mic, Shakti word. So can you please give us some insight into the knowledge nuggets that you're going to be dropping with us at the People's Gathering? What you going to talk about, sis?
I'm going to talk about science and how we apply science to get at what goes on in our unconscious mind, which holds trauma, intergenerational trauma, and what we can do about that through polyvagal theory. But this is also connected to some of the exercises that people will be able to do to try it on. And that is repair work. And we need the repair work in order to create any kind of unity inside ourselves, outside of ourselves, and the relationships that hold it all together.
Mm-hmm. I like the succinctness of that because there's a whole lot of harm going on right now.
Yes. Oh
And
God, yes.
I think that your work is going to resonate with many of the people attending because we are hurt. I mean,
Yes.
the rhetoric is hurtful, and as much as you try to tune it out, the different forms of media that are so available for us to consume, it just keeps penetrating, just
Mm-hmm.
going in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
your the title of your presentation is At the Heart of the Matter: Freedom and the Science of Immutable Connections. That's kind of deep though,
That's a
but
mouthful, huh?
that's a mouthful. At the
Right.
heart of the
Right.
matter: freedom
Well,
and the science of immutable connections.
right. And what I mean by that is we are indelibly connected. I mean, the rhetoric and the dominant culture would have us think that we are living separate individual lives. And that separation is how you conquer. And we're really not separate. There's nothing that you do from the moment you wake up in the morning and as you sleep through the night and wake up the following morning, God willing, there is nothing where your ability to do whatever you do is not informed by others.
Mm-hmm.
Food, clothing, shelter, relationships, we are interdependent. And that interdependency is a natural part of unity. But the lie is that we're not united and we can't be really connected, that you have to take care of your own self and your own family. And that's true, but we don't live in isolation from one another. And so how do we amplify that? And in this particular talk, what I'm interested in is the internal work that needs to be done in order to repair the harm that has been done and continues, even through our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't start being able to do that kind of internal work so that we can really show up as the true warriors based upon love that we can represent, then we can't make change.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to leave that word right there. Listeners, viewers, the People's Gathering, A Revolution of Consciousness Conference is coming up on October 10th. If you haven't registered, I want you to go to thepeoplesgathering.com and do so. I'm finishing my conversation with Dr. Shakti Butler. She's going to be front and center, helping us thread that string of knowledge for the day. And we just want to say thank you Shakti. I want to say Dr. Butler also because I want to honor the work that you have done to earn that title. Thank you, Dr. Butler, for saying yes and for coming back to share your wisdom. We appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me, Melanie. You are a supreme goddess and queen, you know, and I recognize the work that you do. And everybody should know, this is a little teaser. I have a little story I'm going to be sharing about you that is related to what we're talking about. I think you're going to love it.
Okay, she gonna spill the tea.
I am going to spill the tea, girl. I sure am.
Yeah, you all take care.
It will take you and I to bring you an ITY. You just